Hello dealmakers and welcome to another stock analysis video on the Dealmaker channel. My name is Ronald and in this video we're going to talk about Shopify, the e-commerce juggernaut that is challenging Amazon for e-commerce supremacy. And if you know of Shopify, then you know that Shopify has been a darling of the stock market, one of the darlings of the stock market in 2020. It is one of the stocks that has moved more than 100% since the start of the year. And depending on where you entered, you would have probably made anywhere between 100% to, if you were lucky to buy at the bottom of the March crash, then you would have made 300% on your Shopify investment already. So the question is, after moving that high in 2020, is Shopify still a good buy in 2021? And that's what we will try to answer in this video. So let's dive in. So our big question is, should you buy Shopify stock? And if you like these kinds of questions, please make sure to smash the like button. That's for the YouTube algorithm. All right, let's look at the business model of Shopify. Shopify provides e-commerce capabilities to businesses of all sizes and helps them find customers, drive sales, and manage day-to-day operations. And whatever your business is, you can build an online presence using Shopify. So that is their value proposition. That's actually a very, very powerful value proposition because whatever your business in, Shopify can help you have e-commerce capabilities. Now build your online store, market on different channels, which we will see later. More than 1 million businesses already use Shopify right now. So it is a very powerful value proposition, and it's going to be adopted more and more by businesses, by people, because e-commerce is the new normal post-pandemic. So this is what Shopify does. It allows a business to have its own e-commerce storefront, so that right over here, but it allows you to sell on all channels. So whether it's on your own store or on your brick and mortar store, you can actually use Shopify's features to handle your in-store sales. Now that you already have your own point of sale system, your own inventory system on your brick and mortar store, and that is linked to your Shopify system. You don't need to have different systems and then figure out how to reconcile both systems. And you can sell on Amazon from Shopify. You can sell on Facebook from Shopify. And you can even sell on your pop-up stores. Now, if you're the type that attends bazaars, fairs, summits, and you need to have a presence there, but you also need to be able to take in sales there, then Shopify will also help you or allow you to do that. And your stores are actually accessible, whether it's on desktop, on mobile, whatever device your buyer uses. So it's a very, very powerful value proposition. But not only that, Shopify also helps you to manage your back office. And this is what's really encouraging to me, because Shopify allows you to handle your payments, right? It allows you to take in credit card payments. Uh, it even gives you working capital. Definitely it helps you in your marketing, as you can actually see in their website, or as I mentioned earlier, handles your analytics and even inventory and fulfillment. Before Shopify, people would go to Amazon because Amazon had fulfillment by Amazon. So they didn't have to worry about logistics and all that. But with the entry of Shopify, what they're saying is you don't have to be reliant just on Amazon. We'll take care of fulfillment for you. And if there is a feature that is not covered by Shopify, then they also have more than 5,000 apps that can connect or integrate with Shopify. So you can actually manage your entire business from Shopify. So that is a very, very powerful value proposition. That's why it's something that was embraced by more than 1 million businesses already. And they target the entire spectrum of businesses, whether it's a solopreneur's business, or you're just running from your home, running from your garage or from your kitchen. And as you grow into a small business, Shopify is still able to cater to your needs. And even if you grow into a large enterprise, Shopify can still support you. So Shopify really, it's an awesome company, and that's why I would probably say that's why Amazon is threatened, by Shopify. They consider Shopify as their biggest competitor. Now, Shopify focuses on the small and medium business segment. So for them, the total addressable market on the SMB sector is 78 billion. So that's $78 billion. So that does not include the entrepreneurs over here, so the small businessmen and even the larger brands. So they're not yet included, but this is already a huge, huge market, for Shopify. But even though uh, they're targeting the SMB sector, it's actually a good strategy to target the entrepreneurs and the larger brands because the larger brands will give them more revenue, more margins. And by targeting entrepreneurs, that actually allows them to groom their future small and medium business clients. So it's really a smart business strategy. And they're able to execute this because they have cast a very wide marketing net that allows them to capture all kinds of businesses. So this is a serious business, very, very well-run business. And these are some of the larger brands under their portfolio. We actually see some small and medium businesses already transitioning as a large brand with the help of Shopify. So we have Heineken, Molson Coors, Lisa, Jameson, KitchenAid, Telefonica. So I believe you're more familiar with these brands. The only brand that I'm familiar here is actually Heinz and Heineken. But for the others, I haven't heard of them here in the Philippines. But I'm pretty sure that if you're watching from the US or Canada, and Shopify is a Canadian company, then you would have probably heard of these brands already. So they have customers from all spectrums. And Shopify continues to innovate. So starting just from a simplified online store, so they already have all of these innovations in terms of platform expansion, service expansion, uh, location, language expansion, working capital, payments, fulfillment, right? And even future platform expansions as well. So Shopify continues to innovate and grow with the market. So this is something that businesses can start using now and probably 10 years into the future, which is really great news for investors as well. So it really is a very, very promising company, and a lot of people already know that. A lot of people invested in the last year, mainly because they have crazy growth. They have strong, consistent revenue growth. If we look at this, then you can see obviously from the graph that the growth has been strong, but you can actually see kind of a slowing down of the acceleration. Right? It's still growing, it's still growing by a large number, but it's becoming a little bit more realistic, right? Because they already have a million businesses already. But last year, 2020, really was a banner year for Shopify because it bucked the slowdown or the deceleration of growth when it jumped up back by to 96%. And you can see more clearly in here. So their compounded annual growth rate has been 47% for the last 5 years. And this graph is really shows really the growth of their monthly recurring revenue. So Shopify is a subscription-based platform, and that's actually good because it ensures that Shopify has consistent revenues. It's not dependent on uh, the seasonality of sales. And you can see here that huge jump that was because of the pandemic when when brick and mortar stores closed down, businesses were forced to go online, and a lot of them started to use Shopify because it is the easiest platform to get into. And they don't just rely on their core revenue or on their core subscription revenue, but they have added tiers like this. Shopify Plus is for the large brands, if you remember earlier, and any other value added services are also added into the pie. So they have diverse source of income. subscription income even. And not only is Shopify succeeding, but their merchants are scaling and succeeding on Shopify as well. So you saw the brands that grew from small business to large business levels already. And that growth was also experienced by their merchants. So even their merchants had 100%, more than 100% growth on gross merchandise value last year. Shopify is succeeding, their merchants are succeeding. Very, very good ecosystem. So that also shows growth in their gross profit. And that is growing because they've been able to be very disciplined in their financial management. So you can see here that their expenses as a percentage of revenue is actually going down. And this is really very encouraging because that massive jump in revenue of 2020 was not accompanied by a massive jump in expenses as well. In fact, their expenses as a portion of revenue actually massively went down. So you have a business that's built for the long term. So they have near-term initiatives that they're building out. They have medium-term initiatives, mainly international expansion and retail point of sales, and they have long-term initiatives. So initiatives uh, that they feel will that they feel will bear fruit in the longer term, right? They're strengthening their fulfillment network by acquiring Six River Systems, an AI-powered fulfillment system, uh, even getting into fintech with Shopify Balance, and getting into the wholesale B2B market and strengthening their Shopify app. So all of these really show you that Shopify is an awesome company to own, right? And if Shopify was at the right price, I would have bought Shopify because it is already a very, very strong competitor to Amazon. They're already the number two. They already have the number two share in market position. So I'm really interested to see what the numbers are when the full year results of Shopify come in for 2020. All right. And if this information is something that you really like listening to, if this is the kind of information that you'd like to receive before making an investment decision, now please take the time to smash the like button. It helps YouTube share this video to others, and it also helps me, encourages me in creating more videos like this. All right. But there are risks, there are challenges. So I want this to be a balanced analysis. I'm not just hyping up Shopify stock because there's no reason for me to hype up Shopify. I don't own Shopify right now. I was actually studying if I should buy Shopify. So here are the risks. The US is really in a very tough position when it comes to the handling of the pandemic. Even though they have a new leadership already, President Biden has actually given uh, the country the reality that this is a tough battle. There's a lot of uncertainty ahead. There's a lot of things that they need to do, need to get done to have this pandemic under control. So that introduces a lot of uncertainty. So much that Shopify has declined to give guidance for their performance in 2021. They really don't know how this pandemic will affect their main customers, the businesses that are relying on them. They don't know how the market will react to all of this stimulus checks and what happens when the stimulus runs out, right? So there's a lot of concern on the U.S. economy brought about by the pandemic. But more than that, the the bigger risk for me is the super high price to earnings ratio of Shopify. And let me show you what I mean. If we look at this list of similar companies, or at least companies competing in the same industry, right, we have Amazon, Baba, Salesforce, eBay, Etsy, Microsoft, and Shopify. You'd be wondering why Microsoft is here. Microsoft is already thinking of entering the e-commerce segment with I think that's called Dynamics platform, but they are targeting large businesses, the enterprise businesses. And if you'll see here, the P/E ratios range from a low of 17 by eBay to a high of 135 125. So Etsy is 125, CRM is 135, Amazon is 96, and Shopify is 763.20. So what this means is for every dollar that Shopify earns, it's like they need to allot $763 of their market capitalization. Right? So that's a crazy number. And if you told me that I need to pay $763 for $1 of earning, then I would have to go to somewhere else. I'd probably consider buying eBay because eBay seems to look cheap, in this table. So for Shopify to bring down their P&E ratio to somewhere near Etsy and Amazon and CRM at least, they would have to increase their earnings up to 7 or 8 times. And they have to do that, right? If you think about it, they probably increased their earnings by 100% last year, but that was very special circumstances. So they need 7 years similar to last year for them to even reach almost similar P&E levels as Etsy, Salesforce, and Amazon. So the question is, should you buy Shopify stock? Well, there are 12 Wall Street analysts that say yes, buy Shopify, 8 say hold, and only 1 says sell. So it is a moderate buy rating. All right, so let's look at what analysts say about Shopify. And like I mentioned earlier, uh, 12 of them say buy, 8 of them say hold, and only 1 of them says sell. Shopify now, during the market is open, so it's at $1,230 right now. But the average target price on Wall Street is $1,218.43. The highest is $1,421.21, while the lowest is 950. So based on the high target of 1,421, so there's still a bit of a 15% upside on Shopify. Although for me personally, if you ask me, I would suggest that you wait for a good price. Wait for a better price, mainly because Shopify has crazy P&E levels. They're like Tesla. Tesla has even crazier P&E levels. And really that right now, that really makes me sad because I'm super impressed by the company, super impressed by what they have achieved and what they have done. But unfortunately, it's too expensive for me right now. It's too expensive for me to recommend Shopify at this point in time. It's something that I would watch. Personally, I would watch in the coming years. Um, Hopefully, there is an opportunity to buy into Shopify when the price to earnings ratio becomes more reasonable. So uh, that's my answer. No, wait for a good price. I wouldn't recommend. If you already own Shopify, then it's okay to just hold on to it. So if that's information that you like, please make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Next stocks for analysis are Facebook, Tesla, and GM. I hope you stay tuned, for these 3 stocks that we will analyze. And also, while I don't recommend Shopify, I have 21 other stocks that I would recommend for 2021. Please make sure to check out the offer below this video. And now, if you haven't done so, please make sure to subscribe so that you can uh, be notified of future stock analysis videos as well. Make sure to hit the notification bell button. And this is Ron Kagape. Now, thanking you for your attention. And please, if there are stocks that you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section below. If you have any questions about the stock market, let me know as well. And I would still encourage you, even though this is a crazy market, continue to watch the market, continue to make deals in the market. And I hope that all of your deals will push through. See you in the next video.